Hello. Paris, in France, is one of the most exciting cities in the world to visit. There is so much to do in Paris. Visit landmarks like the Eiffel Tower or the Arch of Triumph. Wander the streets, the parks, and the Seine river banks, which are so full of history. Visit museums like the Louvre, the Picasso Museum, and the Museum of Modern Art Pompidou. Enjoy the Parisian way of life with cafes, restaurants, and bakeries. But if you want to go out of Paris, there is plenty more to see and experience all around France, from beaches to mountains, from charming villages to vineyards to fortified cities. For example, if the weather is rainy in Paris and maybe it is August, and most Parisians are out of the city for their summer holidays, then I can recommend making a trip to the south of France, which is terrific. Also, France has one of the best and fastest train networks in the world. You can travel from Paris to the French Riviera, 800 kilometers, or 500 miles away, in less than 3 hours. And this in the comfort of a luxurious train that reaches inside the cities. Here are 10 cities in the south of France that are really worth visiting and easily accessible by train or plane. I will focus on other beautiful cities or towns in other videos, like Rouen, Reims, Lille, Deauville. I cannot give indicative prices because there are a lot of conditions that impact the price. If you traveled during French holidays, how long in advance you book, if you invest into a reduction card, the time of day the train leaves, etc. But if you plan it a bit, I think it is pretty cheap for what you can visit. Whatever city you choose, an excellent way to enjoy it is to wander in the streets, sit at the terraces of cafes or restaurants, go to open food markets. First city, La Rochelle. La Rochelle is located on the west coast of France, facing the Atlantic. It is 2.5 hours from Paris by fast train. La Rochelle is an ancient fortified city that was one of France's prominent ports from the 14th to the 17th century. After the second marriage of Eleanor of Aquitaine in 1152, the small town became the largest port on the Atlantic. Most of the defensive walls have been demolished after a year-long siege in 1627. But remain 2 watchtowers that were locking the entrance to the port. You can climb one of the towers to have splendid views of the city. Otherwise, you can enjoy the small walkways, the old port, the open markets, the aquarium of 12,000 marine animals, or the Maritime Museum, which retraces the city's history. You can also go on a sailing tour around the Atlantic islands, Oléron, Aix and Ré, and the famous Fort Boyard. Second city, Bordeaux. Bordeaux is located a bit more south, 2.5 hours from Paris by fast train. Bordeaux is eponymous of maybe the most famous and most expensive vineyards in the world. Try some wine in the cafes and restaurants. Watch the city's most significant sites, like the Place de Quinquins, the St. Michael's Basilica, the Grosse Cloche Bell Tower, and the Grand Opera. Hotel particuliers, or mansions, built for 18th century wine merchants, border tree-shaded boulevards. And contemporary architects continue the trend for excellence, with beautiful creations resembling giant wine decanters. While in Bordeaux, you can also visit Saint-Emilion, a lovely medieval village, part of UNESCO World Heritage. With a tour, you can learn about French winemaking and wine classifications and do wine tasting. A train will take you from Bordeaux to Saint-Emilion in 30 minutes. Third city, Toulouse. Toulouse is halfway between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, and is short distance from the Pyrenees Mountains and Spain. Toulouse is 4.5 hours from Paris by train. You can also fly by plane. Toulouse is France's 4th largest city and the center of the European aerospace industry, with Airbus and other companies like Satellite System and Aerospace. Toulouse also has the 4th largest student campus in France. All this makes Toulouse a very active and vibrant city worth visiting. Toulouse also has a rich architectural heritage with large Romanesque and Gothic churches, facades, prestigious mansions of the Renaissance. This architectural heritage is mainly within the city's inner boulevard. Built historically with bricks that change color with the day, Toulouse is called the Pink City, or La Ville Rose. The Basilique Saint-Sernin, Les Abattoirs, and the Museum of Natural History are some sights to see. Fourth city, Montpellier. Montpellier is 13 kilometers from the Mediterranean Sea and 3 hours from Paris only, by fast train. You can have a wonderful time there, in the Mediterranean weather, which can be sunny and warm while raining in Paris. To go to the beach, you can ride a bike, or take tramway number 3 from Bassin-Jacques-Cœur to Carnon. Montpellier was already an important city in the Middle Ages. Established in 1220, the university is one of the oldest in the world. It has famous alumni like Nostradamus and François Rabelais. Visit the medieval city with the ancient citadel. Montpellier is experiencing one of the most vigorous economic and demographic growth in the country. And, at 70,000, students are nearly 1/4 of the population, one of the highest rates in Europe. Rich cultural life and Mediterranean climate explain the enthusiasm for the city, nicknamed the Gifted. Fifth city, Marseille. Marseille is now less than 4 hours from Paris by train. It makes it an excellent opportunity to visit this cultural hub of the south of France, be it for art, food, history, or architecture. Founded around 600 BC by Greeks, Marseille is the oldest city of France and one of Europe's oldest settlements. For many years, Marseille had a bad reputation. But recently, it has become a must-see. Most of the attractions of Marseille are in the 1st, 2nd, 6th, and 7th arrondissements. These include the Old Port, guarded by 2 massive forts, the town hall dating from the 17th century, the Triumphal Arch of Aix, and churches like La Vieille Charite and the Cathedral Sainte-Marie-Majeure. If you have some time to go out of Marseille, I recommend visiting the Pharaoh Gardens, a park with views of the Mediterranean and the Old Port. And the Calanques, a mountainous coastal area, Mary's Rocks, hills, and transparent seawater. Sixth city, Cannes. Cannes is famous because of its international film festival that draws celebrities each spring. But for the rest of the year, this seaside city in the French Riviera is still a high-class destination. You can walk on the waterfront, the famous Croisette, with palm trees and many luxury boutiques, pay for the day for a sunbed on the beach, or have lunch facing the Mediterranean Sea and the yachts. You can also visit St. Marguerite Island, where the man in the Iron Mask was imprisoned for 11 years. This man remained unidentified due to the iron mask over his face throughout his 34 years in prison. Seventh city, Nice. For Nice, I recommend you take the plane instead of the train. The train takes 6 hours. By plane, the flight itself takes 1.5 hours, to which you need to add the time to go to the airport. But it might not be much longer than going to the train station, depending on where your starting point is. Nice has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2021. It is one of the most visited cities in France, with 4 million tourists per year. After Paris, it also has the busiest airport in France, which makes it easily accessible. Nice is a colorful old city, a must-see stop on the French Riviera. At sharp noon, you will hear a detonation from the castle. It has been a tradition for 125 years. We owe this tradition to Sir Thomas Coventry, who could not wait for his wife to return home. He then decided to fire a cannon each day at noon to let her know it was high time to come home. Nice is best enjoyed relaxing, wandering in the streets and the open markets. Go to the beach for a swim, sit at a cafe for a refreshing drink, and savor the delicious food provençal. Eighth city, Monaco. I added Monaco because of the glamour of that city. It is the most challenging city on this list to reach from Paris. The train will take you 6.5 hours. I think you'd better fly into Nice and then take the local train for 30 minutes. It runs every 15 minutes. Places to see in Monaco are the Old Town, the Rock of Monaco, the Royal Palace, and the Monte Carlo Casino. You can also look at chic shops, the luxury yachts in the harbor, and the changing of the guards at the Prince's Palace. And do some high-end people watching. Ninth city, Avignon. Unlike all the cities so far on this list, Avignon is not on a coast. It is in Provence, just north of the Riviera and one of the most charming parts of France. The historic center of Avignon, which includes the Palais de Pape, the cathedral, and the Pont d'Avignon, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The medieval monuments and the annual Festival d'Avignon have helped to make Avignon a major touristic destination. On top of this, it is less than 3 hours from Paris by train. Avignon is known for the song The Avignon Bridge and its religious history. It was the residence of the popes in the Middle Ages. 10th city, Chambery. The last city on our list is more for mountains and hiking lovers. Chambery's region, called the Savoy, offers a choice of 8,000 kilometers of signed footpath to discover the Mont Blanc Peak, picturesque mountain villages, the 3 largest lakes of the French Alps, and the National Vanoise Park. The city of Chambery also offers plenty of breathtaking, beautiful views. Go and see the Château de Dux de Savoy, or Castle of the Dukes of Savoy, dating from the 13th century. It is now the residence of political administration. Take in the Elephant's Fountain, the most famous landmark in Chambery. Roam through Boigny Street, St. Leger Place, and the Charles Dollin Theatre. Chambery is 3 hours from Paris. The trains to the southwest of France, La Rochelle, Bordeaux, Toulouse, leave Montparnasse station in Paris. It is in the south part of Paris and is reachable by metro lines 4, 6, 12, and 13. For Montpellier, Marseille, Cannes, Nice, Monaco, Avignon, and Chambery, the trains to the southeast leave from Paris Gare de Lyon station. It is in the east part of Paris and is easily reachable by the lines A, D, 1, and 14. But you can also board the trains to the southeast from Paris at Charles de Gaulle Airport, the main Paris airport, and Euro Disney. Please let me know if you have any comments or ideas for other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.